Okay, Assalamualaikum and selamat sejahtera. We shall continue with the last subtopic of Chapter 3, Implementation Flaws. We're going to discuss fail-open login mechanism, defect in multi-stage login mechanism, and insecure storage of credential. Okay, we begin with fail-open mechanism. So fail-open authentication is the situation when the user authentication fails but result in providing open access to authenticate and secure section of the web application to the end user. In other words, attempting a few trial or a blank space or a username or whatever situation that you try to log in, the web application itself providing an open access to authenticate. It's actually open. This fail open login create a way the attackers to do attacking by guessing a username or brute forcing the username. So blank or invalid username may cause an exception in the login routine, or maybe long or short values, or maybe blank or letters where numbers are expected. So this is considered as a fail open login. For multi-stage login, okay, the process is like this. This is just an example. Username and password, enter specific digit from a PIN or a CAPTCHA, and enter value displayed on the token. So this is the multi-stage login. You have username and password, and then you have this authentication of CAPTCHA, a figure, or whatever it is. So the defect in this problem is may allow user to skip step. Okay, it goes straight to the CAPTCHA, for example. So may trust data that passes step 1 but let user change it so invalid or logged out accounts remain available. May assume that the same username applies to all 3 stages but not verify this. So this is the problem of multi-stage login defect. Okay, the process of initial stage where username and password is bypassed that step. Okay, and then it goes straight to the PIN number or CAPTCHA, for example, and then it may or may not available or may give a hint or guess what is the username and password. Okay. It may use a randomly chosen question to verify the user, but let the attacker alter that question in the hidden HTML field or cookie. So, or allow many requests, so attacker can choose an easy question. So, this situation when the multi-stage login, where user need to answer a few questions, or a CAPTCHA itself can be identified by a screen scanning. Okay, this is the problem where the guess of the multi-stage login become very basic and well known. For example, they keep trying what is your mother's maiden name, for example, what is your favorite car, for example, what is the color of your favorite car, for example, and maybe this attacker known your profile by accessing your information or your friend. Okay, accessing information means from your social media website. They already do investigation or study your profile so that they can collect all of this information. Remember, this is some sort of information gathering before attackers try to start move on to the attacking phase. So the last discussion is insecure credential storage. So plain text password in database. Okay, this is not advisable if you're working on this. So that means anything that be written as a password can be displayed inside a database, or maybe you just select all from database. It displays the password when using hash technique. like MD5 or SHA1 or SH2, it is actually easily to crack. Okay, there is one algorithm, it's not algorithm, one function online. You just put a standard MD5 and then it can be translated or decrypted into the text. Okay, how we want to securing the authentication? So you need to put all of this consideration. How critical is the security? Will user tolerate inconvenient control? So what type of security do you want to impose? For example, crucial information such as banking account, number of verification, credit card numbers. Okay, it may be very important for us because it's involved financial. How about just the information of your a simple data? Okay, it's depend on your how critical is it your security. Will user tolerate inconvenience control? Okay, for us it's maybe convenience or okay with us. Okay, when we need to impose with the multi-stage login, captcha, and then secondary or two-way of authentication such as email, SMS, and token devices. Some people not convenient with that. You need, is it cost of supporting a user unfriendly system? It's not a straightforward anymore. We need to use various various attempting or various pages to log in. Okay, sometimes people tend to confuse with this requirement. Is it a cost alternative compared to revenue generated or value of asset? Okay, sometimes you need to consider whether your security is not critical, but you are applying a huge cost of implementing the security mechanism. You hired a third party or third party software company that purposely just to secure your website. It's depend. So all of these consideration need to be considered before we are applying any security mechanism. Okay, strong credentials, like all of these things, minimum password length, require alphabetical numbering and typographic characters, avoiding dictionary word, username should be unique. So all of these things is steps that going to logically put an extra security or protection for your authentication. Okay, handle credentials securely and protect them when created, stored, and transmitted. Use well-established cryptography like SSL, not custom-method. Whole login page should be at HTTPS. Now if you are using Google Chrome, it is suggested that we are using HTTPS. Our website also using HTTPS now, and use post rather than get. Okay, what is different with this thing? I think BIW student know this. Okay, where post data is not reside inside the cookies of the web browser. So these two things is very very important in web development. Okay, don't put credential in URL parameters or cookies. Okay, try to put it in somewhere else, especially in server, and create a token is very difficult to be copied. Okay, don't transmit credential back to the client even in parameters to redirect. Okay, securely hash credential on the server. So hashing, use hashing techniques. Okay, don't transmitting credential back to the client. Okay, even though you are using server protection or credential, but never send it back to the client. So when a client receive back this, it's going to be stored in the cookies, okay, in the web page headers, so it can be retrieved by attackers. Using hashing credentials on the server, Okay, what is hashing? Okay, password hash must be salted and stretched. Okay, salt is essentially add random bytes to the password before hashing it. Stretch many rounds of hashing. So Kali Linux 2 uses 5,000 rounds of SH 1512. Okay, this is now advantage of the BIS student. Okay, so we actually put a random byte to the password before hashing it. How am I going to explain this? Okay, before we hash that, we already put some random bytes that we don't know, and then we go to hashing, and then stretch it. Okay, uh, use many rounds of hashing, like SHA 512. Okay, we will take a look at this. Okay, and then let's view this.
What is hashing and what does it do? Hashing is the process of converting an input of any length into a fixed style string of text using a mathematical function. This means that any text, no matter how long it is, can be converted into an array of numbers and letters during an algorithm. The message to be passed is not input. The algorithm is to do so is not a hash function. And the output is now a hash value. This means that it would be impossible to produce the same hash value entering different inputs, and therefore the same message should always produce the same hash value. The hashing speed is also an important factor.
All right, that is about hashing and a little bit information about blockchain. Okay, the hashing technique is used to decode and to encrypt into other form so that uh, it used for security. Okay. How to prevent a brute force attack? Okay, add login, password change, recover lost password, etc. using unpredictable username and preventing their enumeration makes a brute force attacks more difficult. High security apps like bank disable an account after several failed login. Account holder must do something out of bank to reactive account. A 30-minute delay is friendlier and cheaper. Okay, this is all of this mechanism that try to attempt securing from a brute force attack. Okay, as you know, brute force attack try to few guessing of the username and password, but it is very common right now. If you're trying to log in a few times, your account will be blocked. So that is the preventive of the brute force attack. Okay. Password spray attack, use many different username with the same password, such as password avoid account lookout. Okay, don't practice this. So you need to defend strong password rules like captcha. So all of these things can be used to prevent brute force attack. So password change, okay, you required to change the password. Old password might not be used. Some error message for all the failures. Users should be notified out of the ban, such as via email, that the password has been changed. Okay, even though the previous password, the old password cannot be used, sometimes the password is actually being tested in the function itself that built in inside the web browser, so that people can store your information. But least likely, all of this being encrypted. So account recovery, for security critical apps require account recovery out of ban. Don't use password hint. Email a unique time limited unguessable single use recovery URL. So the challenge question might help to verify or validate your account. And the last one, log, monitor, and notify. You need to log all the authentication related event, protect logs from unauthorized access. So the important things about log is actually most of the activities of the server, the communication between client and server, okay, is a footprint what is being done inside the server. So if this can be accessible and hackers gain this log file, so they have a lot of information that can be manipulated, and it's going to be create any bad things or harms to your network and to your server, to whatever digital communication that can be attacked by hackers or attackers. So anomalies such as a brute force attack should trigger IDS alerts, notify users out of ban, any critical security events such as password changes, email, SMS, whatever it is, as long as it's related. If you are using a Gmail account, for example, if you change from one laptop, it's not laptop, it's from one handphone to another handphone, I think Gmail will notify you. Okay, and notify users frequent security events such as time and source IP of the last login. Okay, from which state, from which country. All of this notification is used to alert users. Even though sometimes you feel that this is an annoying message automatically created by the system, but it is actually help you to protect your digital content, your web server, your login, whatever it is, that based in the web. All right, that's all for chapter 3. Okay, if you have any question, you may contact me, and that's all. Thanks, guys.